Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, right now, I'm taking a break from the X-Men reviews. We're now going to tackle on to the Ninja Turtles franchise. What you're probably thinking to yourself, didn't you already review these films? Yes, I did, but same thing with the X-Men reviews. Those videos was in terrible quality, and I did not put much effort into those videos. But now, when I'm just restarting the Turtle series reviews, I'm gonna put a lot of effort in this video, and for the sequels and the reboot. But now, let's get started with the first and best Ninja Turtles movie. I am a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching the early 2000s TV show that they aired on 4Kids and Cartoon Network. I love the 80s cartoon, the first cartoon. I do appreciate the cartoon that's currently on Nickelodeon. And yes, I have experienced Next Mutation. Boy, that show was just terrible. But the Ninja Turtles is one of those franchises that is part of every kid, everybody who grew up in the 80s or 90s. It's part of their childhood. It's one of the things that they hold deeply in their hearts. And it'll hold deeply in my heart too, even though I'm not a child of the 80s, obviously, or the 90s. But in the early 2000s, I had this fascination with the Ninja Turtles from the 4Kids TV series. And that's how I got experience with the Turtles. And later on, the 2007 movie. And then after that movie, I later on watched this film. And to be honest, this is my favorite version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action. Not in general, just live action. Because this film is just a combination of the 80s cartoon and the Mirage comics too. Because it has the silliness of the 80s cartoon and it has the dark and grittiness of the Mirage comics. Which I really do like about this film. And believe it or not, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is one of my all-time favorite comic book films ever. I know you're probably laughing at me because of that or because it's the Turtles, but no. Watch this film as a comic book film and you will be vastly entertained by this film. This is a very fun movie, and that's what this movie is. It's fun. And it has a combination, like I said before, of the grittiness and the lightheartedness of both the cartoon and the comic book. That's what I really love about this film because it's not really, don't get me wrong. This movie has some corny moments to it. This is not a perfect film at all. But as a comic book film, as a Turtles film in general, this is just flat out entertaining and awesome that you will get in this film. Jim Henson did a fantastic job on the costumes for the Turtles, and to this day, they still look realistic, and it still looked, I feel that the Turtles could be real. These costumes make me feel like the Turtles could be real. It could be in the sewer down there, eating pizza, training. I mean, this film, it's everything. This is the reason why I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles so freaking much. And the costume is one of the reasons that I love them in this film. Hey, but it's not like they rebooted the Turtles 25 years later and make them CGI looking trolls. We'll get to that film later though. The puppetry of Splinter is also great in this film. Splinter looks also very realistic in this film, but believe it or not, Splinter is voiced by Kevin Clash, aka Elmo. All this time, Splinter was played by Elmo. That just blew my freaking mind. I never knew that till I looked up the cast for this film. And Corey Feldman does the voice of Donatello. That's just nuts. Judith Hoag in this film as April O'Neil. She does a pretty good job as April O'Neil. You know, the typical news reporter April O'Neil. Not the scientist April O'Neil that was in the comics and the early 2000s TV series or the teenage April O'Neil in the Nickelodeon series. This April is based off the April in the 80s cartoon, which is my favorite version of April. So Judith Hoag does a pretty good job in this film. We also have the best character in this film. It's not the Turtles at all. It is Casey Jones. Elias Coates does a great job at playing Casey Jones in this film. I mean, this dude is awesome. This is actually one of my favorite comic book portrayals of all the time. Stephen Amell needs to step his game up from Arrow to Casey Jones because Elias Coates is awesome as Casey Jones in this film, which you don't really see him that much often. He started a lot of like low budget film nowadays, started like a lot of dramas and thrillers now, which really bring Elias Coates back in a Ninja Turtles film. If you could bring Judith Hoag and Out of the Shadows, bring Elias Coates back in Out of the Shadows too, because Elias Coates is just a man. He is. The Shredder how can I forget about the Shredder? The guy who was a mix between a cheese slicer and Darth Vader, because this dude is just awesome. And Shredder, he just one of those iconic comic book villains. Just if you don't even know about the Turtles, you know who the Shredder is, because the Shredder, it's the Shredder. And the Shredder in this film is actually my favorite portrayal of the Shredder. Not like the comic relief Shredder from the 80s cartoon. It wasn't like the alien Shredder from the early 2000s. This is actually the Shredder based on the comics. And that's exactly what this film should have done. Don't give it like the comedic Shredder like in the 80s cartoon. No, get the Shredder like it was in the comics. And he betrayed them very, very well. And what was funny about this film, that the Turtles could kick a lot of numbers of the Foot Clan, a lot of members of the Foot Clan. They beat all of them at once, but they can't even take down the Shredder. I mean, the Shredder just kicked the Turtles' collective shells. No pun intended. Actually, yes, pun intended. The Shredder just kicked the Turtle collective shells, and none of them couldn't beat the Shredder. That's how powerful this dude is. I'm like, dang. They can beat out the Foot Clan, but they can't even beat out the Shredder. It's like, wow. Wow. Despite that scene being followed up by Splinter knocking over Shredder into a trash can, this is still a very great film. As a Turtles film, not just a film in general, this film is still fun to watch, especially if you're a fan of the Turtles. I love the costumes, everything, almost everything about this film is just perfect, but not as a film, but just if you're a fan of the Turtles, if you're a fan of the cartoon, the comic books, you will love this movie. If you're not a fan of the Turtles, you probably won't like it that much. It have dark moments from the comics, like when the Foot Clan captures Splinter, Raphael just bursts into anger, and it have silly moments from the cartoons in the 80s, where you see Donatello and Michelangelo dancing. That was pretty fun. I'm going to give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles an A-. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Who's your favorite turtle? Leo, Mikey, Don, or Raph? Mine is Mikey, since I got him on my t-shirt. But if you're new to my channel, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.